All right, what's going on, guys? As you can see, I'm just enjoying some time outdoors with my daughter. We're shooting some hoops here on the court, and I really came out here to test out these guys. You guys can see that. These are, grab the box here. These are the OpenRock S2 open ear air conduction sport earbuds. And these are one of the lightest sport style earbuds you're gonna find. Again, they are open ear style, so they don't block your ears or anything like that. You can maintain complete awareness of your surroundings. So, walking, hiking, cycling, things of that nature, these are gonna be perfect. And I really just wanted to come out here and actually do, some sport related activities to see how they feel. Number one, they stay in place incredibly well. And I can definitely vouch, incredibly lightweight. Like, you can honestly forget that you're wearing these. Now, these days, I'm not really big into distance running. If you'd have caught me in my 20s, I could definitely give you 5, maybe 6 miles on a good day. But if I was into half marathons, maybe even full marathons, I could easily see myself wearing something like these, because if you notice, they have a very specific shape to where they angle themselves towards your ear. So number one, that's gonna help eliminate sound leakage, but it also gives them a more minimal look and appearance. Open style earbuds are huge right now, and most of them are the clip-on style, which personally I'm not a huge fan of. A lot of people feel like they look like earrings, which I tend to agree with that. So these have a much more minimal appearance. Every morning I go on a 3-mile walk. I just do my best to start my day off with some sort of physical activity. And for the past few weeks, these have been my earbuds of choice. And when I'm crossing the street, I can hear traffic, I can hear other people, I can hear animals. So when you're in public, this style of earbud is a lot better in terms of safety. Now, taking a closer look at the earbuds themselves, as you guys can see, we have the case right here. And this case is surprisingly compact, especially for these to be around the ear style earbuds. I'm sure you guys know, typically with those types of earbuds, the case is very large and bulky, but that's not what's going on here at all. Just to give you a size comparison, right here we have the case of the AirPods Pro, which is a very common benchmark. And when you put it side by side, you can see that the case of the OpenRock S2 isn't that much bigger. So in terms of pocketability, these definitely have you covered. As far as the earbuds, pretty standard around the ear hook design. As you can see, very, very flexible. And something I always tell people when it comes to this style of earbud, don't be afraid to really mold these into the shape that you need. You've got a titanium wire inside there, and it's a lot more durable than you would probably expect. So if you need it to be a little bit bigger, just stretch it. Or if you need it to be smaller, if it seems like it's fitting a little loose, you can really just kind of bend it. And like I said, just kind of mold it to the exact shape that you need. It definitely helps in terms of finding the best fit. Now, speaking of the fit, again, these are very, very comfortable. You have a soft silicone finish pretty much around the entire earbud, which feels great up against the skin. Now, obviously we don't have any silicone ear tips. Again, these are open earbuds. So you can see you have the speaker portion right here, which produces the sound. And these are using 12mm drivers. And then on the underneath side, you can see you have a small physical button right there for your controls. So you can play and pause, track forward, track backwards, and you can adjust your volume. Now, as far as specs, these are actually one of the first earbuds to come across my desk that have Bluetooth 6.0. And I will say they do pair very, very quickly. By the time you get them out of the case and onto your ears, they're paired up and ready to go. So if you want a pair of earbuds that are somewhat future-proof in terms of the Bluetooth connection, you can definitely check these out. Now, as far as battery life, you're looking at roughly 8 hours on a single charge, which is plenty. That can get you through a full day. And once you factor in the case, that extends to around 32 hours. You also have fast charging, so just 5 minutes will get you roughly an hour of playtime. Now, these are obviously geared towards sports and athletes in general. And another reason they're great for that is because they're IPX5 water resistant, and they also have a special nano coating. So it's kind of like a invisible raincoat of sorts, just to help prevent, penetration from sweat and just moisture in general. And they also have a really unique design on the inside. Apparently the actual driver and the chip that controls everything are in two separate compartments, just to try to, keep things separate and to help with the overall protection from moisture. Now, inside the app, you've got a number of useful features. You're able to see the remaining battery life for both the earbuds as well as the case. You also have your different EQ settings. So they've got a couple installed in here for you. You've got boom mode, and that's going to give you more of a V-shaped type of sound. So if you're working out, you're doing strength training, something like that, something a little bit more high intensity, that's what they're going for there. You've got relax mode, a more mellow EQ curve, if you will, slight bump in the upper frequencies. But if you're, doing something that's a little bit more soothing, like yoga, you could try that one out. And you have rock mode, which, as you can see, just kind of bumps up the lower frequencies, and slight scoop there in the mid range. And then you have the option to customize your own. So you've got a 7-band EQ, and you can see I've been in here kind of playing around with things, and this is what I've been listening to lately. Not sure if that'll be my final EQ or not, but if you want to try it out, there it is. Now, if we go back, you'll notice that there's also a max volume limiter. I've tried out a few other earbuds with this feature, and it is something that I'm starting to like, especially as I get older. This is just to help you preserve your ears and just your hearing in general. There's also a wear time reminder. So basically, if you come in here, you can set a timer anywhere from 30 minutes to 4 hours. And once that time has passed, the earbuds will remind you to take a break. So again, these are aimed at helping you preserve your ears and just your long-term hearing. Now, you also have access to your controls. So if we click on gestures, as you can see, the single, double, and triple press are all set in stone. You're not able to modify those actions. But as far as the long press, you do have some options. I have mine set to adjust the volume, but you also have the option to activate your voice assistant as well as mute your microphone. A few other options you have are spatial audio. So if you want kind of a wider soundstage, more of a stereo effect, you can turn that on. You also have the option to adjust the sound balance. So maybe you hear better in one ear versus the other. You can kind of compensate for that by making the necessary adjustments from left to right. There's also high res mode. These are LDAC compatible for high resolution audio. So if you have a compatible device, you can definitely tap into that. And just a few things to keep in mind. If you do activate the high res mode, you're not able to use multi-point connection. And what I noticed is that it does away with the spatial audio option as well. So if you're planning on using that, just something to be aware of. You also have an automatic power off timer. So if the earbuds are just kind of sitting idle, you can choose a designated interval for them to just go ahead and turn themselves off to conserve battery life. And then you have the Find My Buds option. Similar to many other earbuds, you can basically cause the earbuds to make a very high-pitched sound. That way, if they're in between the couch cushions or under the bed, if they're connected to your phone still, you can use this to try and locate them. And for the most part, that's pretty much it inside the app. Now let's go ahead and get into sound. Like I said, these are using 12mm drivers. And the first thing I'll say is that these definitely get louder than most open style earbuds I've tested. Honestly, I never really needed to go above 50%, especially outdoors when I'm trying to maintain my awareness as far as what's going on around me. But in the event that you are, let's say, in like a gym environment, opposed to outdoors, you got people using machines. You usually have music being played over the loudspeaker, and you might want to block some of that out. Well, thanks to the higher volume that these do have, you can do that to an extent. Obviously, there's no noise cancellation or anything like that, but you can definitely crank up the volume in a situation where you don't need that awareness, and you can block out a pretty good amount of your surroundings. So you kind of have the best of both worlds there. Now, the other thing that stands out to me with these is just the clarity and the definition. It's a very clear sound, especially if you go in and you tweak the EQ. And aside from just my custom EQ settings, I typically find myself using the boom preset. Again, that gives you more of a V-shaped type sound. You get some solid bass there. Keep in mind, it's not going to be anywhere near as dynamic or as punchy as a pair of typical earbuds with silicone ear tips, and that's just the trade-off that you make with this particular style. You get the comfort, you get the awareness, but you do make a little bit of a sacrifice in terms of sound. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I'm sure most of you know that by now, but just in case, that's definitely something that you'll notice. These also have a total of 4 microphones. So if you need to use these to take a phone call or take a meeting, this will give you a general idea as to how you would sound. So overall, who exactly are these for? Number one, they're clearly aimed at athletes, which I think these will be perfect for athletes. Incredibly lightweight, incredibly comfortable. But aside from that, if you're somebody that has seen the hype surrounding open style earbuds, but you just been on the fence, maybe you don't like the look and the appearance of the clip-on style, these would be a great pair to try. They've got the around the ear style, which looks a lot better in my opinion, and they give you all the same benefits. As far as price, these are coming in at $98, but you can use the coupon code on the screen to save 15%, and that'll take it right around $85 if I'm not mistaken. So if you're interested, definitely check out the link in the description. And aside from that, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you guys as always. If you found the video to be helpful, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.